What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today's video we're looking at the whole drama with Super Rugby, South Africa being technically left out of New Zealand's plans going forward. SA Rugby responds, and a few All Black stars are saddened by the fact that SA Rugby have been left out of New Zealand's plans going forward in the tournament. Now, obviously, the latest coming this past week was that New Zealand Rugby are looking at a Trans-Tasman competition with 5 New Zealand Rugby teams, 2 to 4 Australian teams, then a Pacific Island team, and the Hawaiian-based team, which is owned by Jerome Kaino and Joe Rokothoka. So there's a lot of excitement happening down over in New Zealand, and they're looking at this for the future plans, obviously because of COVID. But not only that, it's obviously you've got your story of the travel, etc., etc. There's been a long list of things that have been going around that has been in the talk. But let's not forget, South Africa have also always been in the media of looking overseas. There's thousands of articles out there of South Africa going to the Pro 14 or going overseas. There's always been that talk, whether you like the idea or not. That's the possibilities. We've got Rassie on the board, you've got Uriru on the board, all over on Pro 14. So we've always had our hands stuck in various parcels of this, whether we go Europe or whether we stick down to Sansa. However, Uriru has responded into the comment, and he stated that if anybody is kicked out of Super Rugby, it was New Zealand kicking themselves out. And I quote, he said, SA Rugby has not been kicked out of Super Rugby. They have merely, obviously New Zealand have stated what they want to do going forward. We still have a partnership and the deals in place with Sansa. That's not being broken, and if it's going to be broken by New Zealand, legal actions and all that jazz has to take place first. So it's not just going to be a flick of the fingers, South Africa's kicked out. So there's all that talk. He did, however, state that due to all these things that are going on, COVID-19, travel restrictions, New Zealand wanting to grow and develop within the Pacific Islands, etc., they have thought of plan A, Bs, and Cs in order to back it up to probably go north, but nothing official has been announced as to what or how or if we're going to join Pro 14. Yes, that's the favourite talk, and we all know that, but obviously nothing's quite been confirmed. So as of now, we're still part of Super Rugby, and we've still got a contract agreement with them going forward. So we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, it's going to end up. New Zealand are wanting to progress. Australia, there's talk of them maybe even starting their own tournament if they don't get into the agreement mode with New Zealand. They want them to have 2 teams really, but it could be 2 to 4. But if they don't get any agreements, Australia are thinking of starting their own one, possibly with Japan. So there's so much things going on right now, and we're all not quite sure what the hell is the move forward. And probably we will hear from Andy Marinos on the procedure of Sansa, and there'll have to be an agreement of some sort in order to get these things going. But as for it, South Africa is still included in Super Rugby. As he stated, New Zealand are the ones who are wanting to go forward and start their own tournament. Super Rugby can't really exist without New Zealand. So it's definitely not going to be Super Rugby, but I get the moral and the thought that Uriru is talking about. But there are backup plans. Now, obviously, there's also been a lot of talk of players saddened by the fact that South Africa are leaving Sansa. Aaron Smith has come up, Ash Dixon, Brad Weber, Brian Hall. They've all stated their disappointment in the fact that South Africa are leaving because they love the rivalry that we've shared. And I think that's with fans as well. It's really media that are negative. And I know there's a lot of people here who agree with the idea of moving forward or South Africa going to Europe, and fully with and respect all those decisions, myself included. But there's still a lot of respect and love between the fans of New Zealand and South Africa that share that same bond and excitement of the rivalry. The same going for Super Rugby, the same going for the Rugby Championship. What people need to forget is that the media implements something totally different, which puts us all off and triggers us, whether it's clickbait, etc. But at the end of the day, South Africa and New Zealand fans still talk and still communicate and say, all right, fine, we're not going to get Super Rugby. We still have Rugby Championship. If we're not going to get Rugby Championship, let's go back to the old school tours. And I think a lot of us really want the old school tours back. So that would be awesome. Just imagine the All Blacks with us for a month, or we in South Africa for a month, playing some phenomenal rugby going forward. So it's really good news going forward. And well, sorry, when I say good news, it's sad news, but it's not all negative. And if we can just progress forward, ignore the negative media, then we've got a path forward. Weber stated, he said, I think it's the beauty of Super Rugby is that we have all these different teams from around the world actually enjoy that part of it. A lot of the guys said they enjoyed going to South Africa. They enjoyed the playing conditions, playing in winter at 21 degrees. There was a lot of talk of that. Aaron Crusaders scrum off said, all New Zealand competition like Super Rugby is unsustainable. New Zealand only competition will dilute the product. This is the Crusaders scrum off Hall who stated that. Aaron Smith obviously expressed his thoughts of it, and he's saying there's a lot of history and he's going to miss that. So hopefully we can figure out a way to continue this great rivalry that we have, and I'm sure we will. There's not going to be an end. Here's the quote. It's easy to play rugby in South Africa when it's 21 degrees in the winter. They're awesome. Big stadiums, dry ball. They play it like at the right time, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. So you finish the game and it's only dark. So the guys love the conditions, and there's a lot of love and respect from the respective friends over in New Zealand. So I hope we could see something happen. Aaron Smith, here's his quote, I'm a kid from a small town and going to South Africa and seeing lions, elephants, and seeing the beautiful country like that. Obviously, New Zealand is beautiful, he says, but South Africa, it's just different over there. And then the ability to go over there and travel and tour, it's just awesome. You can have a big trip. So yeah, it's sad that they're leaving, but obviously there's a lot. It's good. It makes me feel good to hear these great positive comments coming from the legends from New Zealand. And I mean, the best scrum off in the world in Aaron Smith stating this as well. So it's all good. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you real soon for another one. Stay safe and never give up. Cheers.